To replace the left transmission assembly, the battery box must be removed. There is no need to remove the battery box when replacing only the right-hand transmission assembly. The transmission assembly is identical on each side. This video only shows the replacement process for the left transmission assembly. Use a T20 bit to remove the battery box cover hinge screws on both sides. Use a T20 bit to loosen and remove the 5 screws on the top of the battery box to remove the support assembly. Drop the 2 battery connectors inside the battery box. Use a T20 bit to remove the 6 screws inside the battery box. Use a T20 bit to loosen the 4 screws to open the PCBA box cover. Use a 5mm hex bit to remove the 4 bolts from the outside of the battery box. Use a 5mm hex bit to loosen and remove the 4 bolts inside the PCBA box. The entire battery box can now be removed. Use a 4mm hex bit to remove the 2 bolts at the top of the wire cover. Disconnect all connectors and then remove the PCBA assembly. Tip the snow blower forward so that the deck is facing down as shown in the video. Use a 14mm socket wrench to loosen and remove the wheel flange bolt. Remove the wheel from the snow blower. Use a T20 bit to loosen the 3 screws, then remove the wheel cap. The right side should also be disassembled to this stage, so that the rear cover can later be removed. Back to the left side. Remove the big gear and the plane washer. Use a 5mm hex bit to loosen the 4 bolts holding the dust cover. Pull the tensioning cables out of the cover assembly. Remove the cover assembly. Use a T20 bit to loosen the screw connecting the left turn handle to the clutch. Loosen the 4 screws on each side to remove the rear cover. To move the supporting assembly out, use a 4mm hex bit to loosen the bolt that secures the left clutch, left gear assembly, with the shaft. A 10mm hex socket is needed for securing the nut behind. Then the left clutch and compression spring can be removed from the shaft. Use a 5mm hex bit to loosen the 2 bolts and move the supporting assembly inward to expose the retaining ring. Remove the retaining ring using a retaining ring pliers. Move the hoop inward to expose the bolt and nut securing the transmission assembly. Use an 8mm socket wrench to loosen the bolt and nut. All components of the transmission assembly on the left are shown in the picture. Replace any defective parts as required. Place the retaining ring, the hoop, and the transmission assembly onto the driving shaft. Mount and secure the plane washer. Use an 8mm socket wrench to tighten the locking bolt and nut. Move the hoop outward to cover the locking nut. Mount the retaining ring to secure the hoop with the transmission assembly. Move the supporting assembly to its proper position and use a 5mm hex bit to secure it with 2 bolts. Place the compression spring and the clutch over the shaft. Note, the clutch is marked with L4 left and R4 right to tell its correct position. Hold the clutch with compression spring depressed to align the holes on the clutch, the supporting assembly, and the shaft. Use a 4mm hex bit to secure them with the long bolt and nut. Use a T20 bit to fasten the screw connecting the clutch with the left turn handle. Check the turn handle function. Depress the left turn handle, the left clutch should be pulled up. Release the left turn handle, the left clutch should return to its original position. Fit the rear cover and tighten the 4 screws on either side. Assemble the dust cover seal, then use a 5mm hex bit to secure the left cover assembly with 4 bolts. Assemble the plane washer and the big gear. Assemble the wheel cap and secure it using a T20 bit. Assemble the wheel washer into the back of the wheel. Place the wheel onto the shaft of the self-propelled unit. Manually rotate the wheel to engage the gear. Repeat the same steps on the other side. Make sure that the wheel pattern direction faces forwards as shown in the picture. Otherwise, the wheels are mounted backwards. Place the spacer sleeve on the shaft and secure the flange blot on both wheels using a 14 mm socket wrench. Return the snow blower to the normal position. Place the motor wires into the wire traps and then assemble the control box. Reconnect the wires and place the wires properly into the wire traps. Pass the two battery connectors through the battery box and then locate the battery box onto the deck. Be careful not to pinch the signal wiring harness and place it properly in the battery box slot. Adjust the positioning of the battery box and PCBA assembly. Use a 4 mm hex bit to tighten the two bolts at the top of the wire cover. Use a 5 mm hex bit to tighten the 4 bolts deep inside the PCBA box and the 4 bolts from the battery box outside. Position the two battery connectors into their position. Use a T20 bit to tighten the 6 screws inside, then close the PCBA box cover with 4 screws. Close the support assembly and use a T20 bit to fix the 5 screws. Finally, secure the battery box cover by tightening the screws on both sides.